Hello everyone, this is Hamza Mazhar Sheikh, and today we're with the next episode of Client Diaries. I know I'm late again, but we've been very busy, and I just want to let you know that I'll be late every once in a while, but we're always working on sharing more videos and more insights and more solutions and discussions with our viewers, because the more we discuss, the more solutions we get to. So today is about a fine dining restaurant and a bakery restaurant merged together based on confectionery and more FMCG products. They manufacture everything all by themselves. A little bit of it is sourced. So they have bakeries. This firm has fine dining restaurants all across Pakistan. And the biggest issue was that in the past 3 years, their revenues had declined. Most of half of their restaurants were closed, half of their bakeries were closed, and they did not know what they were doing wrong. And after lots of thinking and lots of research, they got to us, and they wanted us to know. They wanted us to audit and check out what's going wrong with their business. Apart from this, this is a big enterprise. We consider it as a medium-sized enterprise, and it's a lot bigger than your normal small businesses. They're doing brilliant sales. They're a brilliant firm. This firm is owned by two brothers, and the biggest issue was that the partnership between these two brothers got separated, and afterwards, what we saw was that the restaurant segment of the firm went to one brother, and the bakery FMCG segment went to the other brother. The brother who owns the restaurants, he approached us, his firm approached us, and they were willing to become better version of themselves. And they discussed everything with us. As usual, I cannot name this firm, but they're good. They've been doing a brilliant job. And obviously, all businesses go through troughs and crests, but all in good time. We're here to assist all businesses, and this business is no different. So, without further ado, I'll get right on to it. This separation of partnership took a huge toll on this firm, and there was huge management issue, and which was one of the reasons that the way their hierarchy worked was that the branch managers, whether it's a restaurant or a bakery branch, they were supposed to run their own particular branch, and due to this, there was less compliance and there was less asking questions from the above. This led to them being very ignorant in terms of doing their job. And I'll elaborate this management issue once we're in right in the fit of it. But let's get started. Apart from this management thing, the biggest thing that we audited is that this particular restaurant, it's an everyone's restaurant. It's particularly it's particularly targeting the mid-market segments, specifically in terms of social economic class. It is targeting SECA2, B1, B2, B3, and C1. So there's lots of changes when it comes to social economic classes, given the financial depression and recession that businesses in Pakistan have suffered in the past 4 5 years. So the preferences of the social economic classes have differed, and one of the biggest things that the businesses which were targeting the mid-market segment, businesses which were targeting the middle class, the upper middle class, the lower middle class, and they were the ones that were most affected because these social economic classes were the ones that were the most affected due to the financial recession. Hence, there was a big change in consumer behavior, which lots of organizations have not analyzed, and this particular organization is one of them. They did not analyze this as well, which became a very bad thing for them because this led to 50% of the restaurants being closed all across the country. Having said that, sales were dropping, the branches were closing, and the customers who used to be loyal, they weren't loyal anymore, and that was the big aspect because there was this certain organic drive that always used to take place for these restaurants, and those people, the ones who would eat this particular restaurant 4 or 5 times a month, would not go there at all, like even once or twice a year. So what went wrong? And there was lots of research that we had to do, and there were lots of insights that we got, and ultimately we suggested them lots of things. There were two aspects that they were supposed to consider before making a decision. They could potentially do both of them, but it entirely depends on the feasibility and the kind of budget they were willing to invest. So moving on, the first thing that we audited was the visual appeal of the restaurant. So in previous times, that restaurant chain went without considering this particular idea of, the visual appeal. So they had good chairs, they had good tables, they had good color scheme. But in this particular time of 2024, this case we attended to last year, that particular color scheme, they were operating with orange and white color scheme, which is not good for a fine dining restaurant. Given this bright orange and bright white color is not good for fine dining restaurants. Apart from that, everything in those restaurants was in shades of orange, which was something not which is not visually appealing to the consumers. Apart from this, when we researched and talked about the aspects and collected data through focus groups, we analyzed that people were disappointed over the passage of time due to managerial issues created by management itself, issues with the food, because the pricing was stagnant or was adjusted a little bit according to the inflation every year. But apart from that, the quality of the food was deteriorating, and the people had gotten, the ones who were loyal, had gotten fed up of what they were being offered when they came to this particular restaurant. So when we were collecting data, the menu cards were not up to the mark. The pricing was not up to the mark. There was no introduction of new products in the menu. Apart from this, one of the attendants of the focus group, he told us that whenever we come to this restaurant, the tables are not always cleaned properly, the chairs are not cleaned properly, and apart from this, we get our food very late, and the waiters, they are not motivated enough to listen to us in, while we call them the first time. They always listen to us the second or the third or the potentially the fourth time, which obviously shows the lack of motivation and the level of ignorance radiating from the management itself. Because if the manager was doing a good job, he would have made sure that the existing customers would not get disappointed. And the reason why the when we collected all of the data and when we audited, the reason why manager was not, he was not setting everyone straight was because he wasn't being asked from the upper management, which was a bad thing because for around 1.5 year, these managers, individual managers of the branch, were left alone with the branches and they were supposed to handle it themselves and no one was asking them anything. There was no compliance, there were no sales targets, they weren't being asked anything, and they were like that as long as we're able to cater and come up with, we generate enough revenue to cover up all the salaries of the employees and the costs. That's all that it is, and it's enough, which is not the case because there are always bigger costs associated when operating franchising and chains of businesses and restaurants. So this was something that where the managers were ignorant and the upper management was ignorant as well. And it all came down to the fact that the partnership dissolution took a huge toll on this firm. And if they weren't set up for recovery, they were looking at a potential decline and ultimate collapse. Apart from this, every big ecosystem is also a small ecosystem on itself. I often say this, and these set of restaurants were beaten by their own surroundings. Because if there's a, let's just say that this restaurant is ABC, if there's a branch of ABC and ABC is offering all kinds of food for families, there's fast food, there's Italian food, there's Pakistani food, there's Chinese and Thai. In the surroundings of ABC, specific restaurants started opening. Fast food restaurant, an exclusive fast food restaurant was opened, an exclusive continental restaurants, and likewise all the other category restaurants and cuisine restaurants were opened, which led to their own decline of the particular branch, and the managers weren't fit enough to take action about it. So this was one of the biggest things. They were beaten out of their own small ecosystems. They were dominant in a particular category, but now they were beaten out of other restaurants because other restaurants might offer similar or more premium pricing, but they were offering better quality food and service and the surroundings, which led to the decline of this particular restaurant chain. Apart from this, there was this huge idea about why people wanted to have more variety on the menu, because through the research we found out that this particular restaurant hasn't changed its menu, has not introduced new products in the past 15 years, which is a bad thing. We should have come up with new ideas and new kinds of food. And especially when you're targeting 5 or 6 kinds of cuisines, it is imperative for you to offer new kinds of foods, because at the people who are loyal to you, who come to you regularly, ultimately they get bored of the existing food items that are present within. Apart from this, through our research, we also found out that there was lack of standardization when it came to different branches. A single set of menu is being offered at all of the branches, but the quality of food was not consistent across the branches, which was one of the biggest reasons that if we would go to branch A, the food would be good, and they would go to branch B and order that similar dish again, the food would not be good. There's something which radiated the the decline of the restaurant to the consumers, which then ultimately led them to get the idea that this restaurant is not going to keep itself together, and they should probably look for alternative restaurants. After this, there was this whole idea about what they should do. After this, there was this whole idea about what they should do, and this was something that me and my team, after all the audit, we had to tell them, because the ambience wasn't good, the management isn't good, the upper management wasn't asking anything, the food menu, the product mix, the service mix, the business overall fine dining experience wasn't good enough. So we gave them two choices, either to stick with the mid-market segment and now open branches based on market research in areas which resonated with the mid-market segment, and specifically the social economic class A1, B1, B2, B3 and C1. Not A1, A2 actually. And A2 doesn't even fall in this category as well. It's only B1, B2, B3 and C1. So we gave them the option to either set up an exclusive restaurant without any sub branding and target SEC A1, A2, MAA, and AAA, or either stick with this mid market segment and shift its strategy towards low cost segment, and obviously opening branches in areas which are related to this B1, B2, B3, and C1. So we suggested them that we're working on it right now. It took us 6 months to complete this research, and this was a huge audit for us. Apart from this, they were also we also suggested them to open walk-ins and takeaways in shopping malls, because their food category resonates with what is being offered in shopping mall, and their pricing is being resonated with them as well. And we told them to open small stations if they are looking to target mid-market segment apart from the fine dining experience, which would target mid-market segment as well, but on lower prices and low-cost leadership. It is either this or an exclusively high-end restaurant with premium pricing, premium product and service mix, and premium areas. We suggested them, and they have finally agreed to stick with the mid-market segment. They would be opening branches in areas which support this kind of social economic class, and they will be going towards opening more, walk-in restaurants and small restaurants in small ecosystems. It can either be shopping malls or small markets, based on low cost and mid-market segment, a hybrid of both. So this is what we suggested. They have already worked on two branches and implemented the changes that we told them. We also developed an app for them. We told them to get customer attention by convincing them to order through app. We also convinced them to start selling on, or the online food delivery platforms as well for the time being. And they need to improve their recall, their recognition, their marketing strategy, their business strategy as a whole needed change. We did everything for them. And the biggest thing in this particular business strategy is that we gave them a hybrid of low cost and mid market segment, which was something impossible but was good enough that the walk ins and the fine dining experience both would cater to this brilliant food that they would offer if the management is serving the customers well. So I hope that I've explained the crux of it. It takes us huge time to design these episodes because we need to be very brief when discussing. There's lots of detail to it. You can always ask more. There were lots of queries as well. I'll be answering in coming days. And this particular restaurant, by seeing this, the other brother, the one who inherited the bakery category, he has also contacted us, and we've just started working for him. So I'll be updating that once we're done with him as well. Thank you very much, and grow global with that.